Hello everyone, this is Ms. Smith, and the purpose of this video is for me to go over with you what I'm expecting from your outline for your literacy narrative essay. And so I've created a formal outline, and I want to go over mine, and hopefully that will help you create your outline for this assignment. Okay? And so what I've done here is I've got my heading, right? You remember you need to have your name, your class, the version of the assignment that you are creating, in this case the literacy narrative outline, and the date. And it needs to be double spaced, okay? And so let's say I'm writing about, and this is a true story by the way, I'm writing about my 5th birthday party when my friend Susan gave me a book for my birthday. And I got really upset because she could read the book, but I couldn't read the book. And it really upset me that I didn't know how to read. And therefore, my title is It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want to. Okay. And so, like I said in the overview, for the literacy narrative assignment, you want to begin with your thesis statement. Okay. And this should kind of push you to make sure that you can encapsulate the main point of your essay in one sentence. Okay, I want your thesis statement to be one sentence, and I want it to communicate the main point of your essay. And so in this case, what I've come up with thus far is not knowing how to read a book I received as a 5th birthday gift was disappointing, but that experience created a love of reading and learning that I still have to this day. Okay, and so let's say that's my thesis statement. And one thing to keep in mind with your outline, we're at the very beginning stage when we create an outline of putting an essay together. And so your outline may change as you're working through the writing process. So don't be frustrated if you're writing, if your outline does not match your final draft. Okay, it's supposed to change. You're supposed to kind of think through it and process it all and see what works and what doesn't work. Okay, so your outline can change a little bit as you're working through that writing process. But let's say I start off with the introduction, right? Makes sense. And let's say I start off talking about the fact that it is my 5th birthday, and that I'm going to have a party and the importance of this birthday. I'll be 5 years old, and at that point in time I felt like a big girl. I felt like I had accomplished something by being 5 years old. And I might put something in that introductory paragraph that kind of hints at the conflict that's coming. Right? I didn't anticipate learning an important life lesson that would define my love for reading during my party. Right? And so I might include something in that introduction that kind of lets the readers know, that there's a twist coming to the story, and there's some substance to the story. And so I may then go on to talk about anticipating the party. The fact that I was marking my calendar leading up to my party, and that my mother and I shopped for Barbie doll decor, paper plates, cups, streamers, balloons, the works, and we had a Barbie doll themed cake that we ordered. And on the day of the party, I might talk about that next. Getting ready on the day of the party, putting on a pretty dress and my tiara because I was the birthday girl, my friends arriving, fun and games and opening gifts. Okay, and a book from Susan who could read aloud and I couldn't. Now we can tell, of course, that this here, right here, is going to be my point of conflict, right? Everything is just wonderful up until that point. But this here, this point here, this part of my narrative is going to be where I introduce that conflict. Okay? And so then now I have disappointment at my party. I'm disappointed. I'm upset. And I actually started to cry because I couldn't read. And I went to my room and I didn't want to go back out to my party. I can write about all of that. My mother consoled me and she told me that I could learn to read and she would help me. But she also let me know that it was my responsibility. In other words, if you want to learn how to read, then you can do that. You can do that. Just make it a priority for yourself. And so, and that of course it was in addition to what I was learning in school and, you know, what I was already learning at home, but I just did not know enough at that point in time. And so my mom kind of helped me realize, you know what? You have some control over this. You can work a little harder at it. You can learn how to read. Okay. And so I decided to go back to my party with a newfound desire to learn, dried my eyes, and went back and enjoyed the rest of my gathering. And so I can then maybe conclude this story, this narrative, with the results of what I learned as a result of that conflict. Okay, and this might be a good point here for me to include my thesis statement, right? And writing a narrative is different from other types of writing we will do. So our next writing assignment will likely be an argumentative essay. For that assignment, for that essay, I will want your thesis statement to be included in your introduction, high in your essay, so that your reader understands the points that you're going to be arguing, okay? But with a narrative, we can kind of save it to the end. And so you can determine where your thesis statement will go, but I think it often works when you put it near the end of your narrative, kind of after you've told your story, recapping what you learned as a result, and what the main point of it all is. Okay, and so I've chosen to put my thesis statement here, kind of in that conclusion paragraph or near the end of my essay. And I've kind of talked about the fact that through reading I discovered a love for writing and a desire to learn. And I also realized that learning was my responsibility. My love of reading and writing led to my career as a professional writer and now as an instructor of writing. And so I'm grateful for that life lesson on my 5th birthday that shaped who I am today. And so in that conclusion, I'm kind of tying it all together, right? Kind of bringing it to a close. And so that concludes my outline. But hopefully this helps you see how you can take whatever direction you're going to go with your literacy narrative and form an outline, a formal outline, okay, that will kind of walk the reader, your audience, through how you plan to approach your 3 to 5 page essay. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful for you. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to hear from you, and I'm always happy to help how I can.